Hi there, my name is Catherine Ostrom. I'm the Director of Undergraduate Studies in Spanish and Portuguese at Emory College.
And I'm Rosanna Phillips, and I'm the Undergraduate Coordinator for Spanish and Portuguese.
And we're making this video for students who are new to Emory, whether you're a first year or transferring from another school, and answering some of the questions we get most frequently, especially at orientation, about where to get started, about study abroad in Spanish and Portuguese speaking countries, which we want you to be thinking about soon, and about majors and minors in this department.
Right, and where we get started is with placement. Right?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Spanport.emory.edu is where you can get all the information about our department, and go right away to the undergraduate tab. And over on the left, it says language placement. So we have the test itself, you click here, but we have some extra information about Spanish placement. And some orientation, the different levels that you can place into. It's good to be aware that the placement test, you do it online, takes less than half an hour, and it includes a survey. So we get information about other courses you've had, other experience with the language.
Right. Another thing very important about placement is that you must use your 7-digit Emory ID. That's the way that we identify you and that we can give you a proper placement notification. So make sure that you know what your Emory ID is and that you use it.
Yeah, the numbers and not the letters that go in your email address.
Correct. The 7-digit, 7 numbers that are your Emory ID. And another thing to keep in mind is that it will be a few days before you receive an official notification. So don't do it last minute, because it's just gonna make it a little bit harder for you to know your placement and get enrolled. So expect to wait a week to 10 days before you get an official notification.
Yeah, but you can go ahead and do this earlier.
Yes.
If you are coming in with AP or IB credit, you should expect to go into the 212 level. That's when I've taught a lot and really enjoy. And if you're coming in with more than that, or maybe with 2 AP credits, you'll be going straight into these topics courses that we have in the 300 level.
Yeah, I think so. Next, it would be Portuguese, right? And how that fits.
Sure, we're a department of Spanish and Portuguese, and both of us are also Portuguese speakers. And if you're wondering where to start with Portuguese, you might think I've never studied Portuguese before. I need to go to 101, but if you're advanced in Spanish, you should be going to our Portuguese for Spanish speakers course. So there's some information about the Portuguese program here. Sorry, I'm going to go back to the placement landing page and say beginners in Spanish will also be beginners in Portuguese, but advanced Spanish students are going to be intermediate, are going to be in an accelerated course. So go ahead and take the Spanish placement test if you're interested in Portuguese as well.
Right. Another big part of our department is study abroad, right?
Yes, and we are really excited to be bringing back study abroad soon. Our department lead summer programs, typically in Argentina, Brazil, Portugal, and Spain. And we want you to be aware that that's something you can do right away after your first year at Emory. That's also something that you can do at any level. So maybe that's how you fill the foreign language requirement. You can take 2 courses. It's actually 3 courses, 8 credits in 6 or 7 weeks. And if you're thinking about going for a semester, that's something that becomes available starting in spring of sophomore year. A lot of students will go in junior year. And don't think you have to pick just one. So consider first sort of a taste of study abroad in the summer after this first year. You can do that later on too, but then you'll be in a better place to get more out of the classes back here in the department, and also to do a longer program with some more independence later in your college career.
Right, and study abroad really helps set up students to get a major, right? That's one of the major benefits of of going overseas is that you're going to be able to get a double major in Emory College much more easily.
Right. That and language proficiency, right? Which is something that a lot of people are really interested in, having that fluency in conversation, and study abroad. The longer you can go, the more you can develop that. Let's talk a little bit about our majors and minors. People are usually aware there's a major and minor in Spanish, but you should also know that there's a major in Spanish and Portuguese, and that's, again, something people who haven't considered Portuguese before they get to college tend to discover it and realize that's something they really want to go into. It's manageable, like you said, Rosanna, along with another major. We have students who are pre-med or in the business school and are still doing that. There's also a joint major in Spanish and linguistics, and that's a little bit more involved. It's with another program. You should be aware there's also a major and a minor in linguistics, so thinking about how language works and how languages change, and a minor in Lusophone studies, which is studies of the Portuguese-speaking world. So you can get information about all of those, the specific requirements, and the contact information for the faculty you want to talk to in order to learn more about that. You don't need to wait until next semester when you're able to declare. You can go ahead and set up a meeting with us to learn more about those majors and minors.
Correct. And I'm also available to answer any preliminary first questions, or shall we say basic questions you have about the major and minor. So feel free to shoot me an email anytime.
Yeah, shoot an email, and soon we'll be back on campus, which means we'll be able to see each other in person. So Rosanna is one of the people you're most likely to see if you go up to the 5th floor of Callaway. You're in the main office in Callaway 502 North, and I'm on the south side of the building, in case that helps. I'm on the other side. I'll just show you a quick look at the requirements for the Spanish major. Something to be aware of is that the courses that count for the major start at the level 212. So you might say place into Spanish 201, do 201 and 202 your first year. We'll consider those prereqs, and then start with 212 and work up through these topics courses at the 300 and 400 level. And that's where you'll get to do more exploring and research. And something to be aware of there is that if you're transferring from another college, if the courses are counting as the equivalent of 101, 201, the OUE can handle that fine. If you're interested in counting courses for a major or minor in the department, please get in touch with us as soon as possible, because a lot of times those upper level courses have more differences, and figuring out how to fit them into our program, it takes a little more work. So please get in touch.
Another thing to keep in mind is that if you are bringing in AP credit, you are in the major essentially, right? So if you placed in 212,
right,
and you are taking 212, you start off at 212, that course will count, both for the Span major or the Span Port major.
Yeah, exactly. You should know that the AP credit itself doesn't count toward the major or the minor. Correct. But that if you're coming in with AP, then your first Spanish or Portuguese class at Emory is going to.
Correct. I meant that as a placement, if you're starting at that level, at the 212 level at Emory, every course that you take from 212 and up will count for the major potentially. Yeah.
Right. We should talk. Well, while we're talking about the major, we should talk about honors, which is a way of doing an in-depth research project. Students are usually doing it during their fourth year. They're always doing it during their fourth year, their final year at Emory. And that usually develops out of another experience you've had, say a 400 level class you're having with a faculty member. Sometimes it's something that people become aware of in study abroad. So it's another reason we want to encourage you to have some of those experiences early on. And then you will apply for the program in spring of junior year. And if you go to our website, there's some information about the 6 students who did honors in this past year, and can give you an idea of how interdisciplinary that program is and the different possibilities.
Right, right. Another thing that our department offers is a sense of community. That is very, very present and abundantly evident at Emory Spanport Department. And Catherine, what are some of those aspects of our department that we can boast about?
So something students comment on a lot is just the fact that classes are small. So you will get to know other people in the major and minor. You'll have like a real relationship with professors. I think the 101 classes will have 18 students, and some of the upper level ones will be more like 15 and 16. And we have a residence on campus where for people who are interested in speaking Spanish or Portuguese all the time, and beyond that, like organizing things for other students to help them get more involved. We are
on track to be fully occupied and at Casa Emory. That's what we call the housing in the fall. So that's really great news. We have all students set up and they're all involved in the program.
Yeah, and that can be a really good option to like combine with study abroad. Maybe like you come back from Spain and you're like, I want to keep speaking Spanish, and that's a good place to live the following year. We have a weekly conversation hour in Spanish that we call tertulias, and a weekly conversation hour in Portuguese that we call bate-papo, and we'll have film screenings, academic lectures and other kinds of events throughout the year. So I think those were the things we want to talk about, and I'll just bring back to our the page with the majors and minors and remind you that it's easy to get in contact with any of us if you have other questions about the program. So thank you so much for watching.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
See you on campus.
I can never find the record button. Can't find the record button.